All right, we'd like to welcome Collin Morikawa into the interview room here at the 2026 Genesis Invitational. Collin, you're coming in off a great week last week at AT&T Pebble Beach with a victory. Just give us some idea of how you celebrated on Sunday night and what the last 3 days have been like for you.
Yeah, went home, actually saw my parents, being out here in LA, figured why not, and just was relaxing. It was almost kind of nice to have Monday off with the rain, and it wasn't the plan to go take Monday off, but I had a couple other obligations that I, had set before even the week, and just kind of normal day's work. But the last few days have been amazing. It's amazing how much I think the tour cares, and the congrats and all that stuff. But a lot of them are about the baby too. Our lives are going to change. My Kat and myself, and we're just really excited. But it definitely takes a little bit of relief, but a lot of joy. I think what's happened over the last 72 hours.
It's a home game for you, local California guy. What's it like for you to come into this event where you've played several times with the confidence that you've got right now?
It's probably one of my favorite events that we have all year. Not just because of LA, but I think how great this golf course is, Riviera Country Club. It's going to play a little bit different, I think, because of the soft greens and the rain and the rough's not up too much, but it still is one of the best courses we have out on tour. And having a lot of friends, family come out, it just makes the week that much more exciting. It's a long week for me, but everything's worth it, whether you play great or not. But the goal is, to kind of continue this momentum or whatever I had the last couple days, Saturday, Sunday last week, into the rest of the season.
All right, we'll take some questions for Collin. If you have a question, just raise your hand and we'll get you a microphone. We'll start with Jeff.
Collin, on that, the golf course being a little bit softer, two parts to that. Do you have a plan? Do you work with somebody that sets a plan for you, or do you figure out how you're going to approach a course, and then knowing it's softer, regardless who is doing your planning, whether it's you and your caddy or somebody else helping you, will you be changing your approach because of the softness?
I've always done it myself. I mean, it's myself and my caddy. So Mark and I, we've done this for our entire lives. And I know a lot of stats go into how you play certain holes, and there's a lot of stats guys out there. But, they also don't know what you see and how you see certain shots. And maybe you're more comfortable on 2 versus 3 versus whatever hole. It's going to change a lot, I think, how we're going to play this week, or at least the next couple days. Tomorrow will be very interesting with the rain and the wind. Looks like the last 3 days will be pretty calm in a way. But I mean, out here the last 2 days, I mean, I've been spinning back 5 irons. You could spin back a 3-wood. It's not normal out here. And then there's some pin locations that, normally when you step in the fairway, you're looking to not play defensive, but just give yourself 30 feet with the greens and the changing. And it's going to be interesting to see how we attack. I think a lot of front and middle pins, and these back pins, you're just going to have to take the 30-foot spinning back and just take your, 2-putt par.
And number 4, how's your approach changed there with the new tee?
I mean, today was actually the first day I played it. Tees were all the way up, and I hit 3-wood. Hit and hope, I guess. It's too soft, unfortunately, to have a lot of control to say, man, I'm going to play like a tight 5-iron and run it up, right? I think a lot of us play it always left to kind of chip uphill. But, I mean, with a 3-wood in hand, that cart path on the left, honestly comes into play because the dispersion just gets that much bigger. It'll be very interesting. I think it's just a very long par 3. There's not a lot of thought to it other than just kind of hitting the green and moving on, unfortunately.
Go over here on the right, Colin. Go ahead.
Hey, Collin. A lot of history. Can you talk a little bit about it, the centenary, but also how you feel coming back a year after the fires? I mean, your hometown right there with the Eaton fires, the Palisades obviously devastated here. What it means to you, is it a little bit special, both of those reasons, and also, sort of bringing business and entertainment to an area right in here where, a lot of the small businesses really still need a boost because a lot of them have, failed over the past year.
Yeah, I actually just learned about the 100-year anniversary I played with Megan Watanabe today, and what an amazing accomplishment! What a great thing to be celebrating. Like I said, if you pull a lot of guys on tour, it's a top 1, top 2, top 3 golf course that we get to play, and you never would think about that based on the types of grasses that we play here. right? Kikuya, Poe. But it truly is. Just the design of it, the way it's shaped, the shots you have to hit. You just are using every club throughout the bag. To be back in LA, 2 years later, it's special, right? LA is always going to be home for me, but I think anytime the tour can come back and provide that sense of just that ability to escape almost and come out here, and hopefully a lot of people want to come and watch and bring business and do that. I mean, we do that with a lot of cities, and I know LA's, one of the biggest cities that we get to play in, but that doesn't mean that they don't need the help, like you said. That doesn't mean people don't need the business. So for us, I think a lot of people get to enjoy this week a lot more than some other places just because we can go out, we can go have great food, we can go out to see a lot of people, friends, whatever it may be, and it just becomes a really, really great week.
And are you still actively doing any fire relief work?
I am not recently, but that doesn't mean, things won't stop. I know the tour is still trying to do great things around that, and we're just trying to be a part of that. So hopefully, we'll find many ways to keep helping out.
Thanks, and congratulations.
Thank you.
We'll come to the front here for Bob.
The other day when you won, I think you kind of described the last couple of years as making golf too complicated possibly, or you wanted to just get back to playing golf. Had you gotten in your own way? Is that an easy way to describe maybe some of your frustrations, if that's what you would even call it?
Yes and no. I think as a golfer, like, you have these gut feelings of what needs to get better, or maybe something doesn't feel right. So, I could go all of 2024, or the end of 2024 when I was so-called playing better than I was last year, or at the beginning of this year, and you can look and say, well, what's wrong? Like, why are you going down these paths to try and figure it out and trying to get, because I know deep down, like, I'm not able to go and play that freedom of golf unless I figure something out. Now, a lot of the times I think you can get in your own way where you start adding too much and you're trying too much. I think if I look back, when I early on in my career, like, yeah, maybe you tried to get better in one area, but then you forgot to keep getting better in another area, and you lose a little bit. And then, everything doesn't, the senses and the style of golf, you kind of lose that of who you are. So I wouldn't say I got in my own way. I had to keep trying things, because if I didn't, I wouldn't be able to go out and play that free golf for 4 days. I played it for 2 days last week, and it obviously won me the tournament. But I want to be able to keep going out week after week and play 4 days of golf like that. And, it took a lot of work. It took a lot of trial and error. It took a lot of guessing, asking questions, trying new things. But one of the big things was truly, having 2.5 months off, doing a lot of work into the body, and letting that settle in and see, how is that going to play out.
If you just played golf without saying all that stuff, wouldn't it still be really good? Wouldn't your golf still be really good?
Yes. I mean, look, I think if you went to go, I think what you're describing is kind of playing when you're at home sometimes and playing with the guys. A lot of my practice is playing against guys at home. And doesn't matter the amount of money you're playing for, doesn't matter what's on the line, it's always different than playing in a tournament. It is. Conversing between your caddy, looking at I don't look at a yardage book at home. I don't think anyone looks at a yardage book when they're at home. If they do, props to them. But it's a very different rhythm of things. And I think you just have to be able to, in a tournament, really hone in on those skills and to figure out what works for you. And what I've learned, the biggest thing is you just cannot copy anyone else. You might be able to take a small little bit, but just because Scotty's doing something great does not mean like I have to go do it. And I think that's something I have to keep reminding myself is like what I'm doing is my thing, and that's hopefully I'm putting my best ability to go do it. It doesn't mean I can't take good things out of what he's doing, but I think too many people try and copy that exact whatever formula that says, hey, this is how you're going to go play good golf.
All right, we'll wrap it up with Jeff at the back.
Hi, Colin. 12th hole is played as the toughest hole last 5 years. Just wondering how you prep for that hole, and is there anything on that hole that if you don't achieve from tee to green that you go, man, I'm out on this hole and I just got to get on with my game?
I mean, this year's playing very different. 2 years ago, it was really, really thick rough, so if you hit it in the rough, you're essentially going to lay up. or hopefully hitting the bunker. This year, the rough's down to where even if you have a knuckle flyer out of the rough with these greens, I mean, you could stop a 5-iron. So some of these pins just don't have that fire to them. But 12 it's not an easy hole by any means. I mean, it's long. I think it's to be playing into the wind. So, you know, you get out of there with 4, you'll be pretty happy all week.
All right. We appreciate it, Colin. Good luck this week.
Thanks, guys.